Away they go. All set, broke sideways. Ort was fast into stride, so was Iron Butterfly, and along the inside, Flight to Cash in the white cap. They've been followed by Rags to Riches going up to race in fourth. Then comes a Fleet Pace in the red, just 3 lengths off these leaders, and Skips Charms at the back of a compact field. Past the 5/8 they go, and Flight to Cash down at the rail. Ort is up alongside. Rags to Riches right there as well. All set on the far side. They've been followed then by Iron Butterfly, comfortable in fifth, 2.5 off the leaders. Skips Charm and a Fleet Pace the last two. They have a half-mile to go, and Flight to Cash in front by a neck. Ort right there in second. Rags to Riches a close-up third. All set continues to go 4 wide. Then back to Iron Butterfly in fifth. Now 4 off the leaders. Been followed by a Fleet Pace, and Skips Charms drop back last. They're approaching the quarter pole. Flight to Cash, the leader. Here's Rags to Riches with a nice run, though. And Rags to Riches now spurts away from them with an impressive burst of speed. Iron Butterfly comes to take a run down the centre of the track. Homeward bound, and Rags to Riches has spurted away. Leads it by 3.5 lengths. Iron Butterfly giving chase from second. But Rags to Riches striding away very impressively. He's opening up 6, 7. It'll be 8 by the time they hit the wire. Rags to Riches, a scintillating effort today. Iron Butterfly second. Flight to Cash was third, and the Fleet Pace finishes fourth.
Off and running in Kentucky Oaks, number 133. It's a picture-perfect start. Cotton Blossom goes out to grab the early command, joined quickly by Dreaming of Anna, Flashing Speed, and Mystical Plan gains up on the extreme outside. Sealy Hill settling in behind the leading group in fourth place now, and Rags to Riches is racing along in fifth, gets a good spot in behind the leading trio at this point. It's a couple back to Octave down along the inside, a length and a half back to Audubon Girl, who's 5 lengths off the pace early. High Heels has about 6 to make up at the rail under Joe Johnson. Tough Tisses Sizz is next by a length and a half more. Then it's Swift Temper, about 9 lengths off the pace at this point. Length and a half in front of Dawn After Dawn. A gap of 3 back to Cash Included, who's second last. And Grace Happens is at the back of the pack, about 11 lengths off the pace through the opening quarter mile, and 23-1. And settling down for their run down the backside now, Dreaming of Anna and Renee Douglas in front by 3 parts of length. Mystical Plan and David Flores glued off that one's flanked to the outside, racing in the second spot. And Sealy Hill is poised to the outside third. Cotton Blossom tucks in fourth. Rags to Riches is being nudged up into the race now by Garrett Gomez, about 3 lengths off the pace. A length and a half back to Octave, who's down along the inside, flanked up by Tough Tisses Sis. There's a couple farther back to High Heels. She's set down by Joe Johnson now. Audubon Girl next to the outside. They're followed up by Swift Temper and Dawn After Dawn. They get to the top of the stretch in the Kentucky Oaks. They turn for home in the stretch drive. Dreaming of Anna shortly. Mystical Plan overhauls her, and here comes on the outside Rags to Riches. Rags to Riches has kicked it into high gear and accelerates away with authority. Rags to Riches by 2 now. Octave's back up into second, but it's all Rags to Riches. Much the best here. Rags to Riches, and Garrett Gomez gallops home by 4 lengths over Octave second. High Heels third. Dawn After Dawn was fourth, and the running time on the board 1:49.4.
Ben Jones and Todd Pletcher's going to try to pull that off now.
We got an isolated camera right there on Rags to Riches. There is Cotton Blossom. There are your leaders, Dreaming of Anna and Mystical Plan. And as they go around the turn, you see Garrett Gomez had Dreaming of Anna, or excuse me, had Rags to Riches in an excellent position behind maybe 3 or 4 lengths in the run down the backstretch. Swings her out for clear room in the run through the lane. And here's where that half-sister to Jazzle thing kicks in. All sorts of stamina and talent for Rags to Riches as she runs away from the field. And this kind of talent is why so many of the other trainers, like maybe even Wayne Lucas, who won the Derby with the filly in winning colors, might have been tempted to run Rags to Riches in the Kentucky Derby. But Michael Tabor, the owner...
They're hard spun with a new rider can get it done, or this indeed is the day of the filly.
All those questions, Brandon, just a few minutes. And we think the rain can hold off. There is Curlin, labeled a freak very early in his 3-year-old campaign after not racing as a 2-year-old.
You saw Robbie Alvarado use his whip there to wipe just a little bit of sweat off of the withers there of Curlin, but it's a humid day.
It is very humid.
And that's really nothing to... I think what you're going to want to watch, you're going to want to watch Curlin. That's the first order of business coming out of the starting gate, because he has a penchant, as he did in the Preakness, where he stumbled at the start, maybe not breaking that sharply from the starting gate, putting himself at a tactical disadvantage. That's what happened in the Derby.
But if it happened in the Preakness, where it's more devastating to a horse like him, and he overcame it, I wouldn't worry if it happened in the same manner, the slight manner that it happened today. Obviously, Robbie doesn't want that to happen.
He was 14th in the Derby, though, after getting off to the slow start. He can't be 14th today.
But he didn't break bad then. He just got shuffled back. This is when I want to see Hard Spun leaving the gate, and I want to see what CP West to his direct inside does, and Slews Tizzy also to his inside. If I'm Garrett, I'm wanting one of those two to lead the way.
That's the next thing. You've got to watch the 4, 5, and the 6 coming out to see the pace interplay there between CP West, Slews Tizzy, and Hard Spun. And then I think you need to watch Rags to Riches to see if she gets a jump early on Curlin. I think she showed more speed in the Kentucky Oaks than Curlin has shown in any of his 2-turn races this year, and that could put her at a tactical advantage.
Does she have the quickest turn?
Curlin going in. Watch him at his break. Watch his behavior in the gate. He had some issues all along in his career with that, but he seems to be good. CP West. Edgar Prado on him, being the one that prompted Mario Pino to move a little bit early, so we'll see where he stacks up into the first turn.
Let's tee it up.
All the questions about to be answered in Belmont 139. Back up to Tom Durkin.
And there's the filly in the field, Rags to Riches. The crowd roars, ready for the start of the 139th Belmont Stakes. And they're off. Oh, and the filly bobbled at the break. Rags to Riches stumbled coming out of there. And CP West comes out in stride. Slews Tizzy is there. Hard Spun to their outside. And then farther back it's Curlin. And Rags to Riches out in the middle of the track there. Then Tiago and I'm a Wild and Crazy Guy. So they make their way for the first turn. And Edgar Prado will keep CP West well off the rail. Slews Tizzy is very eager to get to that lead on the outside. Curlin up close today. Through the opening quarter, there was a tepid 24 3/5 seconds. Hard Spun is right alongside Curlin. And it's 2 lengths back. And the filly Rags to Riches is 5th. Followed by Tiago at the rail, and 7 or 8 lengths back to the trailer. I'm a Wild and Crazy Guy who's just lumbering along in the early stages of this 1.5-mile classic. So they make that turn into the backstretch run. The pace has been sensible the opening quarter mile, and the half was 50 seconds flat. It's just a bit of a crawl here in the early stages of the Belmont, and Slews Tizzy is the leader. Slews Tizzy in front, CP West right there. Hard Spun up close, hard held while third. On the inside is Curlin, just inside of the filly Rags to Riches. Tiago is only 5.5 lengths from the leaders. 7 lengths back to stretch running I'm a Wild and Crazy Guy. 3/4 of a mile in 1:15.1. Now the field is approaching the far turn. A long way to go yet. CP West, the riders have been very patient, not making a move. There's 5 furlongs to go. Their positions relatively unchanged. CP West the leader. Slews Tizzy is second. Hard Spun's in a perfect position on the outside. Curlin could get bottled up on the inside. Rags to Riches in the clear 5th, only 3 lengths from the lead. And Tiago is beginning to roll now. He's only 3 lengths from the front. They're midway around the far turn. 5 of them within 4.5 lengths of each other. And the leader is CP West. Nothing left for Slews Tizzy. Here comes Hard Spun. And Curlin is coming on, throwing between horses. And Rags to Riches is coming with a 4-wide sweep. And Tiago is in behind them. And at the top of the stretch, a filly is in front of the Belmont. But Curlin is right there with her. These two in a battle of the sexes in the Belmont Stakes. It is Curlin on the inside. Rags to Riches on the outside. A desperate finish. Rags to Riches and Curlin. They're coming down to the wire. It's going to be very close. And it's going to be a filly in the Belmont. Years of Belmont history.
Wow. Girl power rules the day at the Belmont. Not just the first filly in 102 years, but the first ever at 1.5 miles.
They are in the gate. And they're off. And it was a good start for Rags to Riches, who's taken immediately back. Here comes Dorm Fever, who's looking for the early lead. Lear's Princess is down toward the inside. Tough Tizasis is forwardly placed, and Rags to Riches is there on the far outside.
Moving up the backstretch, Tough Sis and Dorm Fever will vie for the early lead. Johnny Velasquez puts the Belmont winner Rags to Riches in third position, just outside of Lear's Princess. A break of 4 to Le Chateau as they move up the backstretch. After a quarter and 24 seconds flat, Dorm Fever continues to match strides here with Tough Sis. Relatively unhurried is Rags to Riches, sitting just outside the top 2 in third position. Lear's Princess remains fourth, a break of 6 now, back to Le Chateau. Up the backstretch, the half goes in 47 seconds flat. Solid fractions put on the board by the front runners here. Dorm Fever and Tough Sis. Not far behind looms Rags to Riches, running along third now. Just to her inside, Lear's Princess is a strong fourth. Le Chateau catching up to the field. They're rounding the far turn. 3 furlongs from home now. 3/4 up and 1:11 flat. Now Rags to Riches is making that move after the lead as they make their way toward the top of the stretch. Dorm Fever's under a ride toward the inside. Tough Sis, Lear's Princess is forced to come 4 wide for the run into the stretch. And as they turn for home, it is Rags to Riches in front. Tough Sis is battling her into the final furlong. And Lear's Princess charging hard on the outside. And the Belmont winner digs down. On the outside, Lear's Princess has overtaken Rags to Riches, who fights on as they come down to the line. But Lear's Princess has won. Lear's Princess has defeated Rags to Riches by a neck. Tough Sis was third.